Everton are off to a flyer this season, winning their opening 4 games in the Premier League, enjoying their best start to a campaign in over 100 years. Carlo Ancelotti has the Goodison Park faithful with their heads in the clouds and believing that anything is possible. So in this FIFA 21 challenge, we see just how far we can take the Toffees and try to win the Champions League with Everton in 5 years. This is a really good Everton team. The business they did in the summer was fantastic. Allan's a class player, Rodriguez has been a revelation. And no surprise, as the board say in the first season, we've got to break up the top 4. That's a tough ask, obviously, but again, a 4.5 star team. I like the front 3. The midfield is really strong too. I think the defense is my main area of concern, especially at centre half as well. Michael Keane, Yerry Mina, Mason Holgate come off the bench. I think possibly that's where we should look to improve in the first season. And there's around 60 million in the transfer budget for season 1 as well, so plenty of cash to splash. And there is also a fair bit of deadwood we need to sell in the first season too. Yannick Bolasie, Cenk Tosun, Besic and Pennington, they're all on the transfer list. And my number 1 target, Alessio Romagnoli. Being Italian, I think that's quite a nice feel of Carlo Ancelotti being Italian as well. And he's got some absolutely fantastic defensive stats. It'll cost a lot of money, but I think it'll plug a lot of gaps here in the back line. And £50 million is the fee we'll be paying, plus a 10% sell-on clause as well, which is kind of redundant as we've got no plans to sell him whatsoever. 5-year deal, 76 grand a week. Welcome to Goodison Park, Alessio Romagnoli. And already our defense looks a lot stronger. He'll come into the starting 11 alongside Yerry Mina and Michael Keane off the bench. Our back 4 already looks a lot more stable. Couple of bids here for Cenk Tosun, our Turkish striker. I've accepted both of these deals. And also one for Besic as well, he can go to. And as Tosun goes to Selhurst Park, there's also a bid here for Jonas Lussel, who's now become 3rd choice goalkeeper behind Pickford and Olsen, so I'm fine selling him to Fiorentina. And as he and Besic leave the club, that bumps our budget up to around 24 million now. And I'd really like to bring in a backup striker for DCL. Moise Keane's out on loan in Paris, and either of these Dutch strikers would be superb off the bench with their electric pace. Daniel Malen of PSV or Boadu of AZ Alkmaar. Malen is better, but naturally more expensive, and he's 2 years older. So I'm going to go after Boadu. He's got high-low work rates and a 5-star weak foot too. I think it'd be a great impact sub for Calvert-Lewin. And 14 million is all we need to pay to bring him here. And on a 5-year deal, 23 grand a week, that's an absolute steal for a 19-year-old with bags of potential. Boadu, welcome to Goodison Park. DCL will remain as our 1st choice striker, but off the bench, this is a really solid, exciting impact sub to have. Quick sale here as Yannick Bolasie goes to Werder Bremen for £4.2 million, and after the season ticket sales get included as well, that bumps our budget up to around £20 million. So I'm going to reinvest our final bit of cash into a backup left back, and then go after Brandon Williams of Manchester United. Only 19 years old, really talented youngster. I think he'd do well as an understudy for Lucas Digne. And that's the deal confirmed. 14 million, no sell-on clause, and on a 5-year deal as well. I don't think he'll take the Frenchman's spot, possibly ever, but as a backup, he's a really solid, reliable player to have. He's also right-footed as well, so he could be a backup right-back for Seamus Coleman too. I like this signing a lot. Brandon Williams, welcome. And we are done for business in the summer window as well. A little bit of cash left over, but I'll leave it for the rest of the season. We sold some deadwood. Bolasie, Besic, Lussel, and Tosun all leaving, and the free players coming in. Boadu and Williams, both 19 years old, coming off the bench, and Alessio Romagnoli securing and making our backline a lot more stable as well. I think this is a much better Everton team. Only some minor changes, but already it looks a lot better and a lot younger as well. This should be a very tough first season, trying to break out the top 4, but it's definitely doable. Definitely doable. Let's simulate the first half of the season and see how we're getting on in January. So January is here, and my manager rating is absolutely shocking, so I need to find out why that is. Premier League table, how are we getting on in the first half of the season? Ooh, not great. 7th place, 17 games remaining, 10 points off Chelsea in 4th. Lots of work still needing to be done. New signings are doing okay though. Romagnoli's growing by a rating, as has Brandon Williams. Boadu is still stuck on 75, however, he has scored 2 goals in 4 in the Premier League, so averaging 1 in every 2 off the bench. That's not bad, and for Rodriguez as well, 10 goals in 21. He's a fan's favourite already, man. James Rodriguez is loved on Merseyside. He's off to a flyer this season. Still lots of work to be done in the second half of the season. I'm not really fussed about the FA Cup objective, so long as we break up the top 4. 10 points to deficit, 17 games to go. It's doable, but it's a really, really tough ask. Come on, you Toffees. And here we are. Let's find out if we've done it together or not. No, unfortunately not. 6th place, 66 points, and in the end 9 points off Spurs, who finished in 4th place with 75. We did finish ahead of both Manchester United and Arsenal, and 6th does give us Europa League football next year. It's not the one we wanted, but I guess it's not a terrible first season. And actually, it's not bad at all, because in the FA Cup, we went 2 stages further than the board arse and reached the semi-finals, getting knocked out by Chelsea by 2-0. So final 4 of the FA Cup. Carabao Cup, of course, not important, but Leicester City won that. Sevilla won the Europa League. Shock horror. These boys live for this competition, and Liverpool won the Champions League in Season 1 as well. So we failed our league objective, finishing in 6th, but exceeded our cup objective. That's not a terrible first season. Harry Kane won the Golden Boot this year with 25 goals. James Rodriguez, our top scorer, with 16 goals in 38. God, they love the Colombian at Goodison Park, don't they? Slightly disappointed with DCL though. Grew 2 ratings, but only played 17 games. Scored 8 goals though, not a bad return. And if you take a look at the squad as a whole, there was a lot of good progression this year. Jordan Pickford grew by 2 ratings, as did new signing Rob McNolly, John Joe Kenny, Gamin as well. Richarlison grew by 3 ratings in Season 1 alone as well. That's really solid. So yeah, slightly disappointing league campaign, yes, but some good development being shown by what is again a very young Everton team. The groundwork's been laid. There's plenty of reasons to be positive going forward. It is true we'll need to strengthen in the summer if we're going to make the Champions League. Bring on Season 2. Let's get straight to work. So Season 2 is here, and I think we need to make radical changes to this Everton team in the summer window. The budget is very big, £72 million, but the objectives are incredibly tough for Season 2. Reach the semi-final of the FA Cup like we did last season, break up the top 4 in the Premier League, our main objective, but in the Europa League, win the whole tournament. That's a very tough ask. And like I said, we need to make radical changes in this window, including selling our captain, Seamus Coleman, Fabian Delph, Gylfi Sigurdsson, Bernard as well. You'll notice that Calvert-Lewin and Kenny are on the transfer list. That's by request. That's not due to my decision. Can't remove them, unfortunately. And also Mason Holgate as well. His release clause was activated by Leicester last season, so gutted. He's going to be lost after a day into the new season. So sad about that one. He's a really talented young defender. The only silver lining was that the fee was 28.3 mil, so that bumps our budget up to just shy of 100 million. And looking at the squad, I think this season we need to improve the right back area. John Joe Kenny will probably leave us. Seamus Coleman is definitely going, so probably 2 new right backs really, and possibly a new central midfielder to play as part of our midfield trio as well. And after a quick sale, Bernard goes for £13.4 million to Atalanta. There is a bit here from Wolves for John Joe Kenny of 16 million, and I don't think I can talk him round. And he's only got 1 year left in his contract as well. Great talent at right back, but I think it's best to cash in whilst we can get something for him and not lose him for nothing. And that means if Coleman leaves as well, we'll need 2 new right backs for this season. And this is my first choice list of 5. João Cancelo, Mukiele, Hector Bellerin, Emerson and Reece James as well. Cancelo is the one I want, but I think he might be a little bit too expensive. Let's find out what Pep wants for him. Bit of back and forth with a Spaniard, but I think 63 mil is about as high as I'm prepared to go, and they agreed to that, but I think that's too much money really. However, I've just agreed a £38 million deal with Arsenal for Hector Bellerin, and whilst he is a few ratings lower, he's a year younger as well, and I'm going to bring him into Goodison Park to become our new starting right back, better than both John Joe Kenny and Seamus Coleman as well. Bellerin in for 38 mil. I think that's a pretty decent deal there too. And as we do lose John Joe Kenny to Wolves, I didn't want to sell him because I really like him. He impressed last season at Schalke, but I'd rather get something for him than lose him on a free transfer. So that bumps our budget up to around 85 to 86 million now, and that gives us enough money to go after a new central midfielder that I really want. 4 names here, 2 Italians, 2 English midfielders, Nicolo Barella, Sandro Tonali, Phil Foden and Mason Mount. Let's see what the clubs want for each of them. Well, for Barella and Foden, the fee would be the exact same, £58 million. That's a lot of money. Let's see what Chelsea want for Mason Mount and Milan want for Sandro Tonali. I think we can get Mount for under 50 million, and we can indeed. 47 million for Mason Mount. That's an absolute steal. 11 million cheaper than Barella or Foden. 22 years old, 82 rated, and on a 5-year deal, 63 grand a week. That is a brilliant deal, financially speaking. Mason Mount, welcome to Goodison Park. Absolute bargain. And this is the tough decision I was talking about. Seamus Coleman, Everton, Sigurdsson, captain, been with the club for over a decade, but now it's time to say goodbye. Burnley put the bid in, 4.9 mil, and he is off to Turf Moor. Farewell, skipper. Thanks for your service, but it's best for both parties. And I've only got one target in mind for the backup right back role for Hector Bellerin. If you watched my career mode last year, firstly, thank you so much. But you know all about this guy. Jayden Bogle, once a Ram, now a Blade, but we're going to take him to Goodison Park. 14 mil is the deal, we agree. 33 grand a week, 5-year contract, and a great understudy for Hector Bellerin. Jayden Bogle is in. And there is an interesting bid here for Michael Keane. Deportivo Alaves want to take him to Spain for just shy of 20 million. I was done for business, but instead, I might possibly try and make a couple more sales and bring in a new centre-half here. And as Fabian Delph is on the verge of leaving to Spain also to join Osasuna, the Michael Keane sale has gone through. So, as he goes to Deportivo Alaves with the season ticket money, that bumps our budget up to around 52 to 53 million. And that's enough to bring in a class centre-half to play alongside Romagnoli. And I really want this guy. I've heard so many good things about him in this year's career mode. Edmund Tupsoba of Bayer Leverkusen sadly can't get him due to a lack of depth in that position. But Presnel Kimpembe, we know about him from my Cardiff Football Manager save. Let's bring him from Spurs now to Goodison Park. 42.5 million is the transfer fee we arrange, and Presnel Kimpembe is in to play alongside Alessio Romagnoli. And I said the defense was the main area of concern when we took over here. It's got a lot stronger now. Bellerin at right back, Romagnoli, and now Kimpembe playing alongside him as well. This is a much better back line. And I've accepted this bid here for Gylfi Sigurdsson from Sheffield United, but I don't think it's going to go through before the first game of the season. So let's take a look at our team heading into Season 2, and I've got to say I really like it. It looks very good indeed. Mason Mount, Hector Bellerin, and Presnel Kimpembe all coming in as new signings and becoming instant starters in the first 11. And with Jayden Bogle as a backup right back, I really like the business we've done in this summer window. Nobody is rated lower than 81 in the first 11. Quite a bit of deadwood has been sold in this summer window as well, and it's a much younger and better team than the one that we inherited. I feel we've got a great shot hitting those strong objectives this year, so let's simulate until January and see how we're getting on. So we've just entered January. Let's see how we're getting on. And oh my word, my manager rating again is really poor. I wonder if that's due to off-the-pitch objectives though. Yes, surely it must be, because we're in third place. Really good first start of the season. 6 points behind league leaders Man City. And we're currently 8 points clear of Liverpool in 5th place as well. So manager rating is low, but not due to what's going on in the Premier League. We're also for our Europa League group as well. We'll take on Dynamo Kiev, the Ukrainian side, in a round of 32. Well, see, it doesn't really matter too much. We have got another domestic cup semi-final against Chelsea in the Carabao Cup. And also the Delph and Sigurdsson sales have both gone through during the simulations. So that means now we've probably got around 28 to 30 million remaining in our budget. And I'm going to keep that for this summer. Hopefully it'll carry over to next season. I'm liking the growth of our new signings as well. Hector Bellerin has grew 2 ratings in the first start of the campaign. Jayden Bogle has grown by 1 as well, as have Presnel Kimpembe and Mason Mount too. So all 4 of our new signings showing signs of development in just 6 months. Really impressive. As have some of the players that were here already. Romagnoli is now 87 rated, as is Richarlison. You see there on the left wing. Lucas Digne. So we've got 3 87 rated players in our first 11 now. And I think this is due to the training this year, the development and the growth you see in your players. This is due to EA's implementation of the new training system. So this is a really fantastic Everton team. Let's simulate to the end of the season now and see if we can stay in the top 4 and possibly win our first trophy as well. So, end of the season, here we are, fingers are crossed, and yes, we did indeed finish in the top 4. Oh my word, only 3 points behind the eventual winners Manchester City. 2nd place for Everton in Season 2, and we were, at 9 points clear, not 11, 9 points clear of Chelsea in 5th place as well. So Champions League football next season, and only 3 points behind the winners as well. That's a brilliant season. I saw during the simulation we did not make the Carabao Cup final though. Chelsea knocked us out, and they were beaten in the final by Manchester United. As for the FA Cup, last year beaten semi-finalists, this year did not make the Final Four. Liverpool won it in the end, and we didn't make the quarters either, or the last 16, knocked out in the 4th round by the winners Liverpool. And as for the Europa League, we were asked to win that, and we did not. Spurs were champions, beating Lille in the final. We did not make the semis either, all the quarters, knocked out in the round of 16 by the eventual finalists Lille. That's very disappointing. And it was Barcelona who won the Champions League this year, so disappointing cup and European adventures. But to be fair, we broke up the top 4, we got Champions League football next year, and that was our main objective. So I'm content with how season 2 went. Mo Salah was the Golden Boot winner in the Premier League, by the way, but look at that. Richarlison in 3rd, only 2 goals behind him with 23 goals this year. He is now a 90 rated forward in this Everton team. The growth is unbelievable. And as for our new signings, this is really interesting, but Presnel Kimpembe decreased a rating after going up by 1, as did Hector Bellerin. His makes sense though. As you see, he got an ACL during the season, so that one makes sense. I can see why he went back down to 81 overall. So very interesting indeed, but Bogle grew by 2, as did Mason Mount as well, but kind of disappointed there that Bellerin and Kimpembe grew by 1 and then went back to their original rating. I think the growth in this year's career mode is quite strange and definitely something I'll need to learn a lot more about. But either way, the team is looking really impressive now. Richarlison 90 rated, Digne and Pickford 87, Romagnoli 88. We're in the Champions League and we've got a good enough team to stay in the Champions League for the indefinite future as well. Bring on season 3, our first year in the Champions League. Let's see if we can go all the way and win it in our first year in it. And oh my word, I've just seen our objectives for season 3. Win the Premier League, reach the final of the FA Cup, and reach the final of the Champions League as well. Look, we've got a class team, but those are 3 incredibly strong objectives. Having said that, the board have given us a monstrous budget of £160 million. And when you look at the team as well, just focus on the first 11 here. Forget about the lack of depth to this team. I don't see why we can't challenge for the title this year. We were 3 points behind Man City last season. I think we've got a good enough team to win it this year. And as it is a very thin squad, I'm not going to try and sell too many players, but Olsen and Allan both have their deals to come the end of the year. Allan is a class midfielder, but 31 years old now, it's time for him to move on. And with so much money in the budget, as much as we love him, I think it's time to replace James Rodriguez in this first 11. On the right hand side, I want a new left-footed inside forward, and this is the one I want. Bernardo Silva of Manchester City, 27 years old, in his prime, 88 rated, and the perfect replacement for the Colombian. Let's splash the cash and bring him in. Pep is not letting him go on the cheap, but I'm sticking to £120 million. And he says yes, £120 million for Bernardo Silva. Oh my word. We have just smashed the club record transfer fee to bring him in. But on a 4-year deal, 185 grand a week, he could be the difference maker. Bernardo Silva, welcome to Goodison Park. He'll replace James Rodriguez. He's 4 years younger and 5 ratings higher. And he could be the star that propels us to Champions League glory. As we just sold Robin Olsen, our backup goalkeeper as well. We need a new one now to deputise for Jordan Pickford. And I've been trying to sell this guy, Tarasat, since the beginning of last season. But he just won't leave the club, man. He wants to be here for the ride. Ooh, interesting. Bid here for Yerry Mina from Wolfsburg. Well, I couldn't squeeze any more pennies out of the Germans, but for 14.5 mil, he's not really developed at all, so I'm happy letting him go. And then try and bring in a younger third-choice centre-half to replace him. And after that sale, our budget now is around 57 to 60 million pounds. Lots of money to work with. We do need a backup goalkeeper for Jordan Pickford first, and this would be an excellent replacement for Robin Olsen. 9 years younger, but the same rating at 78 overall, and his release clause is the same as his valuation. Andre Lunin is going to be the backup for Jordan Pickford. The Ukrainian comes in to sit on the bench and provide competition. And because that deal was quite cheap, we got enough money here to bring in a new third choice centre-half to replace Yerry Mina, and I'm a huge fan of this guy. Fikayo Tomori, he's moved on from Chelsea to Hertha Berlin. Let's bring him back to England and sign him. A little bit more expensive than I was hoping. 29.5 mil is the fee we pay for him, but he's the same rating as Yerry Mina and a few years younger as well, so should have more growth. And it's always nice signing players that play for the same nation as the club as well. Tomori, welcome. Club and country, club and country. And I can't see why I failed this objective as well. Sign 3 players from Europe. Well, it says we've only done 1 of 3, but how is that possible? Lunin, Tomori and Silva, they're all European players. And not much money left over now as well, so if we are to make one more signing, we'll need to make a sale. Allan's still on the list, but where are the bids? Ah, there we go. Ask and you shall receive. And I couldn't squeeze any more money out of Sevilla, but for 35.9 mil, I'll take the transfer fee. He's really made a difference to Everton this season, but now 31 years old, final year his contract. Best to let him go and not lose him on a free transfer. So farewell to Allan. That means our budget now with the season ticket sales is around 44 to 45 million pounds. And let's bring a new central midfielder to replace him here. And either of these two would be superb replacements. Declan Rice of West Ham or Sander Berge of Sheffield United. They're both the same rating at 82, but Rice is a year younger. And out of the two midfielders, he's the one I want. Have we got enough though? Are they going to accept this? 44 mil plus a 15% sell-on clause. Yes, thank you David Moyes. Declan Rice, you're coming to Goodison, son. And Declan Rice is in 5-year deal for the former Hammer. Whilst he is a rating lower than Allan, who he's replacing, he's 8 years younger than the Brazilian, so we'll have a lot more potential. And I have to say, I'm really liking our team now. It's got an even younger Lunin and Tomori coming in, younger replacements, not taking a step back. Rice, 8 years younger than his replacement. Bernardo Silva, another superstar in our team as well. This is a class Everton first 11. Free sales, all in their late 20s or early 30s. 4 new signings coming in, much younger players and better ones too. Spent a lot of money in this summer window. We've had to meet those tough objectives. Let's simulate the first start of the season and see how we're getting on. Are we top of the table? Are we in the top 4? Are we doing enough? Let's find out. So, 1st of January, here we are. I see we've got a Carabao Cup semi-final against Manchester City, but for the Premier League... Wait for it. God, I swear the menus are so laggy in career mode this year. I mean, I've been for a few years now, but still. We are top of the table. 7 points clear of Liverpool, 9 clear of Manchester United, and 13 clear of Spurs in 4th place. Only losing 1 game in our opening 21 as well. Brilliant first start of the season. And as for the Champions League, we did make it through the group, but Juventus in the last 16. That is going to be really tough there against the old lady. We topped the group, actually. 2 points clear of Bayern and 7 clear of Milan, but Juve in the last 16, tough, but definitely a team we can take out. And our 4 new signings have all hit the ground running. Lunin's grown by a rating, Tomori has grown by a rating, as has Declan Rice in the middle of the park. Bernardo Silva hasn't grown yet, but at 28 years old, got to expect that, but he's done really well on the pitch. 5 goals and 7 assists so far in 20 games. Richarlison, though, is up to 92 overall. Oh my word. So here we go, second half of the season. Can we remain top of the tree and make it through in Europe? Let's find out. But I did see we were knocked out by Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League quarter-final. But as for the FA Cup, we've reached a final. Is this our first piece of silverware? It is indeed. 2-0 victory and our first trophy of the save. FA Cup in the cabinet. The question is, did we win the Premier League to go alongside it? Yes, we did indeed, finishing 4 points clear of Ole Solskjaer's team, 5 clear of the rivals Liverpool, and a whopping 22 clear of Arsenal in 4th. Premier League and FA Cup won in Season 3. Richarlison won the Golden Boot with 29 goals in 37 games. He's been amazing in this save. Bernardo Silva topped the assist charts, worth the big bucks, and Pickford won the Golden Glove as well. I have to say, at the start of the season, those objectives given to us by the board were really daunting. I thought it would be very tough to win the Premier League and reach the finals of the FA Cup and the Champions League. In the end, we won the title. We did indeed win the FA Cup as well. The Champions League, I alluded to it earlier, we were knocked out in the quarterfinals by Paris Saint-Germain. So made it through the last 16, but knocked out in the last 8 by the French Giants. But either way, a very successful season there. A domestic double, absolutely superb. And our first year in Europe, not terrible. And as for the development of this team, Tomori and Rice both grew by 2 ratings each. Lunin didn't play this season, but grew by 1. Bernardo Silva, though, despite not getting any growth, scored 15 goals and got 14 assists in 36 Premier League games. Safe to say he was definitely worth the big bucks. But Richarlison is the story here. He's now 95 rated on that left-hand side. Pickford is 91 overall. Romagnoli is 92 overall. The growth in this year's career mode is really fascinating. So there it is, our first trophies won in the save as we get set to begin Season 4. And I think next season, if we bring in one more superstar, then we could have what it takes to win the treble. Let's go do it. At the very least this season, I want to retain the domestic double, but the board say we want the treble. They believe now we got what it takes to win all 3 major honours. And whilst that will be incredibly tough to do, when you look at this team and the growth of this side, there's no reason we can't do it. This is one of the best teams in the world now, let alone England. But for the new signing, I gotta say, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, possibly replacing DCL and dropping him to the bench, I'm not against doing that. We're just shy of 190 million in the transfer budget as well. Yeah, I think it's time now to replace DCL, drop him to the bench, sell Moise Keane as he's not developed and is now 4th choice striker, and bring in a world-class elite goal scorer as part of our front three. Richarlison on the left, Silva on the right, and one of these four as the out-and-out number 9. Kylian Mbappe, Erling Haaland, Marcus Rashford, or Lautaro Martinez, who interestingly enough has now moved on to our rivals Liverpool. The one I want is Mbappe, I think probably a bit out of our price range, but Erling Haaland, the Norwegian beast at Dortmund, I want him to be the guy that comes in. £144 million. Valuation deal is all we need to pay for him as his deal's up come the end of the year. And there it is, Erling Haaland is in on a 5-year deal, and our front three now is surely the most deadly attack in Europe. 95 rated Richarlison on the left, Bernardo Silva on the right, and a Norwegian tank through the middle as well. This is an unstoppable Everton attack. Because the deal was relatively cheap, there's still quite a lot of money left over here as well. I've just arranged a sale of Andre Gomez to Atletico Madrid for 18.5 million as well. So that means our budget now is around 60 million. If we can cash in and sell Moise Keane, we could have enough to bring in a new class midfielder. Hey, and there we go, bid for Moise Keane, 18.5 mil from Getafe. Going to accept this, and this will give us around 75 million to bring in a new centre mid. And there it is, the deal goes through, 18.5 million pounds as Keane leaves to Spain. 75 million pounds is indeed our remaining transfer budget, and that gives us enough money to go after a new central midfielder. 3 on the shortlist here: Phil Foden of Manchester City, Bruno Guimaraes of Lyon, and of course Sandro Tonali of AC Milan as well. Let's see what Pep wants for Phil. Just like with Haaland, the reason I'm going after Foden is because his deal is up come the end of the year, and in career mode, if you notice a player has 12 months on his contract, you normally can get him for around his valuation, and that's the same with Foden as it was with Haaland as well. 66 million, that's an absolute bargain. 85 rated at just 23 years old, 5-year contract, 150 grand a week, and Phil Foden is in to play alongside Mason Mount and Doucouré as part of our midfield trio, as Declan Rice will drop to the bench. 66 million for him, that's an absolute steal. And in what was a very short transfer window, we did exactly what we wanted to do. We got our elite striker in Haaland, Foden's come in to improve our midfield, and selling Keane and Gomez, who weren't the best players in this team. I gotta say, just 2 sales and 2 signings, but the team, just because of that alone, looks a lot stronger, especially in the first 11. So here we go then, season 4. We've been asked to win the treble this season. Definitely doable, but I won't mind too much if we miss out on one of the 3 trophies. Let's simulate through to January and see how we're getting on. So January is here. No Carabao Cup semi-final this season, I noticed, but for the Premier League, oh, we are indeed in a bit of trouble. 3rd place, 6 points behind Manchester City. Plenty of time, but plenty of catching up to do. Yeah, we were knocked out early this season in the Carabao Cup by Chelsea in the 3rd round. Doesn't count towards the objectives, but still disappointing regardless. But we are through in the Champions League to the last 16. We'll take on Bayern Munich, who we had last year in our group. This year we topped the group with 5 wins in our first 6 games, and it is indeed the German Giants in the first knockout round. And to cap off a disappointing first half of the campaign, Foden's grown by rating and done okay, but Haaland is yet to grow, and he's only scored 2 Premier League goals in his first 12 games. Really tough start for the Norwegian and Everton as a whole. Let's simulate the end of the season, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we can turn this round. That was a very poor first half of the campaign. Well, the good news is we have made it to a Champions League semi-final. We knocked out Atletico Madrid in the quarters and have Arsenal in the final 4. We drew the first leg 1-1 at home and won the second leg by 3-1. So we're into a Champions League final against AC Milan at the end of the season. So I'm going to stop the simulation here after the FA Cup final weekend because we are not part of it. So we haven't retained our FA Cup this year. I would of course play the Champions League final, but did we retain the Premier League to win at least one domestic honour this season? Well, as we wait for the laggy menus to load here in the Premier League... Oh yes, get in, we came from behind to win the crown. 3 points clear of our rivals Liverpool, 7 clear of Man City, finished in 3rd as well. We might not have retained the FA Cup, but we did come from behind to retain the Premier League. Richarlison was sublime once again this season, 21 goals, level with Bruno Fernandes as the top scorer in the Premier League. And it was our rivals Liverpool that won the Carabao Cup and the FA Cups this season. And as you see, our path to the Champions League final, this is our chance to win the trophy we set out to claim at the start of the save. And heading into it against the Italian giants AC Milan, such has been the amazing progress and growth of this Everton team, I'd say we're overwhelming favourites to win it, and I feel very confident indeed. So let's get the job done and win the Champions League. And yeah, I'm just going to say this right now, if I don't win this game, I have absolutely choked it. We have got 7 90-plus rated players in this Everton first 11. Mount, Bellerin, Silva and Haaland are all 90 rated. Romagnoli and Pickford are 95 overall. And Richarlison's the best player in the world at 98 overall. If I don't win this game, I'm retiring. Silva, down the right, into Mason Mount. And Haaland in the middle, takes one touch, shoots. Yes, no! Oh! Thought it was in, off the top of the crossbar, almost a dream start. He's got 99 finishing. I thought that was his first of the night, off the woodwork. Early pressure on Milan's goal. First is coming. And there it is, this time he does find the back of the net. Haaland loops his header over Gigi and in to the far corner. 9 minutes in and we have the breakthrough early. Haaland heads it in, and again he's 6'4", and as quick as he is, as great as he is with his feet, he's an aerial monster as well. Bullet header into the far corner. Everton lead early. Jonathan David holds up and has Kessie to his left and finds him, and that's a nice ball through, and Golovini's 1-on-1. Oh! Jordan Pickford has just bailed me out. Well, there's me thinking this is going to be a routine victory. Milan almost levelled it. Pickford with a massive, massive one-on-one save. It's been a good first half. This Milan massive underdogs, but they're still firmly in it. But as Haaland slides through Rodriguez, golden chance for the second with the chip over Donnarumma into the back of the net. 2-0 Everton, hammers Rodriguez. Everton fan favourite, doubles the lead at the Olympia Stadion. 2-0 and we're in control. Yeah, I think we're going to be okay. 45 minutes to go. A minor scare when Milan came through 1-1, but otherwise we've been really bossing this. 45 minutes remaining. We've really tightened up the gaps in this second half. Milan have not had a single sniff, and as Haaland finds Foden, oh, go on, DCL, yes, gets in, and there's the icing on the cake. Might have lost his place to Haaland, will always love DCL. 3-0, that'll do it, icing on the cake in Germany, and the Champions League in the bag. Firm favourites, massive favourites, expected to win it, and it's a routine 3-0 victory. DCL adds the third. Well, I set the challenge of winning the Champions League with Everton in 5 years. In the end, we do it in 4. Back-to-back Premier Leagues and FA Cup, and now the Champions League won in 4 seasons as well. And I have to say, as an experiment, I was really fascinated by the growth of our team as well. And it clearly has changed a lot in this year's FIFA career mode. I mean, certain players far exceeding their potentials. Hector Bellerin getting to 90 overall, Jordan Pickford 95 overall. Of course, the standout being Richarlison becoming a 98 rated left winger in this Everton team. That is remarkable. And obviously, with James Rodriguez as well, that's the most interesting thing. In previous career modes, players, once they hit 30, just simply would not grow no matter what. Rodriguez is now in his early 30s, but he grew to 88 overall. So I have to say that the one thing about this challenge that I must say I was very intrigued by is the growth of the players being absolutely fascinating. It is totally different to old career modes. Players can far exceed their growths and then some, and even older players can grow as well. So very interested. I must say I had a lot of fun doing this, and again the growth is incredibly interesting in this year's FIFA career mode. So yeah, I set up the challenge, could Everton win the Champions League in 5 years? In the end we did it in 4, and with the team we assembled and built as well, it's not a real surprise. 7 90+ rated players in the team, the best player in the world at 98 overall, Richarlison as well. It would have been disappointing had we not won the Champions League this year, and again with Rodriguez growing to 88 as well, that is probably the most fascinating part of growth from all of the players. 32 years old now, yet getting to 88 overall. That's remarkable. So that is that then. Challenge successful. We win the Champions League. May not have won the treble this season, surrendering around FA Cup, but either way I can live with that. No, we won the FA Cup and the Premier League back-to-back as well. This is our final look at the Everton team we assembled. I must say I had a lot of fun transforming and building this Everton team. Absolutely lethal, potent front three. Really well balanced midfield trio. And the defence, I talked about at the start of the save, probably the most concerning area for Everton was improved and then some, especially with Ron McNolly becoming a 95 rated centre-back as well. So much fun building this Everton team as you go through the progress of the players this season as well. Again, the fascinating aspect of career mode to me this year is the player growth and how it's changed. Certain players growing by several ratings in one season. I know you've seen certain players this year such as Pickford and Hector Bellerin, I think it was Mason Mount as well, growing 4 ratings in a single season. And of course the biggest story I think of this save, well the second biggest story, Rodriguez, despite now being in his early 30s, still growing. That's awesome to see. I've been crying out for that in career mode for years now. Older players still managing to grow. And Richarlison, there he is, becoming 98 overall and the best player in world football. Absolutely incredible. So thank you very much for watching this FIFA 21 challenge. If you have enjoyed it, guys, and you have, then please do drop a like. Something for my more mature viewers today. Much love to you all. Have an awesome day, and I'll see you for another FIFA 21 challenge very soon.